Ohio Supreme Court Judge Bill O'Neal posted on Facebook that as a Vietnam veteran, the son of a World War II veteran, and the father of an Iraq War veteran, he won't watch the NFL if it includes that kind of disrespect towards U.S. military veterans. With me now to break all this down, law enforcement analyst Vincent Hill. Vincent, good to see you.
Liz, good to see you always.
Vincent, I think a lot of people are feeling the way that this Ohio Supreme Court Justice O'Neal is feeling, that this is somehow disrespectful towards the men and women who serve in our military. I know I feel that way. I recognize these athletes' right to free speech, but I think that their point is obscured by the fact that so many people feel it's disrespectful. I mean, what do you think of this? I mean, this is a pretty high-profile individual saying he's never going to go to a Cleveland Browns game again, and he's been a lifelong fan.
Well, listen, I can't say that I blame the judge at all. Myself being a veteran, I have bad knees that I deal with every day. I have a bad back that I deal with every day for going out and fighting for this country to make sure that our freedoms are protected. And here we have a group of players, the Cleveland Browns, protesting something. But in truth, they really don't know what they're protesting other than what they see in the narrative of the mass media. Now, let's be clear. Is there racism in this country? Absolutely. But is it to the depths of what we've seen in the last few months, few weeks in the mass media? I don't think so. I think it's just a ploy by those on the left to get their agenda across.
Right, and I think we saw that, like you said, even when these players were explaining what they did, it was so vague. They were saying, well, things in our country need to change, that's why we did this. They didn't list what they wanted to change. They didn't bring attention to an actual issue. They're just trying to bring attention to themselves to raise their profile as athletes. I think it's a huge PR mistake to them. Besides the fact, and they're completely missing the point, that the men and women who serve in our military, they don't care about skin color. They don't care about what you do for a living. You and other veterans have fought for our nation, fought for the right of these men to earn the astronomical paychecks that they do and entertain our country every Sunday and Monday and now Thursday too. I mean, you have fought for these people's rights, and they're disrespecting that when they kneel instead of honoring our flag.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing more patriotic to me than the U.S. flag, right? I'm wearing one right now on my jacket. That's how much it means to me. That's how much this country means to me. And just to say things need to change, things have needed to change in this country for hundreds of years. But if you're going to say things need to change, don't just kneel and pray. Be the change you want to see, right? If you're saying this, kneeling at the side of the field during the national anthem isn't going to change anything. You need to be vocal. You need to say what needs to change. You need to come up with a plan on how to change it. They haven't proven anything.
No, I guess the only thing it changed, and maybe this is just exclusive to Colin Kaepernick, but it seemed to change his paycheck a little when he started to do that. Vincent, what do you think coaches should do in this situation? I mean, we saw at the beginning in the video that statement from the Cleveland Browns organization that said, we feel it's important as an organization for our players to take part in respecting the flag and respecting our military, but at the same time, we appreciate or recognize their right to free speech. How should coaches handle this? Should they bench players that do this?
Well, listen, I think they absolutely should. I mean, let's be honest. Football's been around for years. The national anthem has been around for years. The tradition of the national anthem at a football game hasn't been around for years. It's not going to change, and it's also part of the tradition of this country. So anytime you have a lot of people, millions of people from this country watching the games, now you see millions of people saying they're not going to watch because of this. It's not affecting the players. It's affecting the organization of the NFL.
Right. I mean, I agree with you. I think they should. There's always been behavior stipulations when it comes to professional athletes. I also, by the way, think the NFL should bench dogfighters and wife beaters, not just people who disrespect the military when it comes to the national anthem. Vincent, one more question before we run out of time here. This is on the flip side. I want to cover the positive things that are happening in the NFL as well as just this negative stuff. I want to show this on the screen. This is a picture of the Green Bay Packers safety, Clinton Dix. He wrote on his cleats the name of slain police officers. Instead of disrespecting the police, he actually honored these men and women as heroes. They laid down their life for the safety of our communities. Vincent, you were a police officer for many years. That's what you do for a living now. What do you make of this?
I respect the heck out of him. I mean, listen, Colin Kaepernick, the Cleveland Browns could all take a lesson from this guy. He's actually, and I'll go one step further, even the Black Lives Matter can take a lesson from him because the officers he listed were black officers. We haven't seen the Black Lives Matter talking about these officers who were killed in their community protecting and serving. Here's a guy that actually went to school for criminal justice. He knows what goes on in criminal justice, and I think he should be commended 100%.
Oh, definitely. I definitely should. And these names of these officers should be household names, the same as Michael Brown or Trayvon Martin are. I want to read these before we go. Sergeant Sam Howard, Officer Matthew Baxter, Sergeant Deborah Clayton, and Deputy Norman Lewis. I'm so happy that he honored them. Vincent, thanks for being on the show. I appreciate it.